The army is using artificial intelligence to speed up soldier recruitment amid fears of a shrinking military. We're going to read into this exclusive from iNews, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from iNews with the headline that the army are using AI to speed up soldier recruitment amid fears over a shrinking military. It comes as pressure is growing on the UK to reserve the decade-long shrinkage of its armed forces. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can hit the like button and share across social media so others are notified of this video. So we're going to be using artificial intelligence now. When we last spoke about, I don't know if I spoke about it, I can't remember off the top of my head if I spoke about it here or on Patreon, but if you haven't already following me on Patreon, please do so, because you can watch the content for free on there as well. But I did cover videos on there as well. But if it was not on here, then it might be worth checking it out on there as well. But using AI, like, I don't think there's an issue with using artificial intelligence, but I just don't see like how this is going to solve the situation with the soldier recruitment. Now, I've said that obviously I don't think we should do conscription in any way, shape, or form. But what I have said is I've talked about how if you want to encourage people to join your army. Now, I've talked before about how some people have said about potentially Poes who come into the immigration of potential immigrants who come into the country potentially join up for forces as well. But I've also said about how important it is that if you want to build and encourage people to join your army, you've got to give incentives. You've got to give decent pay. You've got to give great deals of benefits, for them to being a part of the British Armed Forces. And without those incentives, people aren't going to join. I don't believe that there should be some kind of. I can just see some people saying that perhaps maybe in terms of tying into migration to help reduce the numbers and that maybe we should get them all to join the army or something, like have them on joining the army for 2 years or something, and maybe that might be something worth considering or looking into. I don't want to put I don't know if a conscription is it's fair. Maybe it should be an option for people if they want to get to give them something. Perhaps it will obviously help with the numbers, but yeah, the recruitment issue is one that's not going away, guys. Especially when we last recorded 7,000. But I don't know if artificial intelligence is whether it speeds up soldier recruitment. Like, is this going to make the massive a difference? I don't think it will, but maybe it will. But I don't think it will. But let's read into it, guys, just to go ahead a bit about it more. So, army recruiters are using artificial intelligence to speed up checks on candidates amid criticism about the depleted troop numbers the AI can reveal. The recruitment firm charged with processing applicants for new soldiers is using AI to speed up their medical assessments. It comes as pressure is growing on the UK to reserve the decade-long shrinkage of its armed forces to confront new threats from the likes of Russia, China, and Iran. The former military personnel told the AI that although AI could prove to be a valuable tool, more is needed to be done to bolster recruitment and retention of soldiers. Yeah, we've discussed this again on the previous video. Earlier this month, MPs warned that personnel were leaving faster than they could be and recruited, and said that they were increasingly concerned about a crisis in the hiring and retention of both the armed forces workers and reservists. Capita, a major government contractor, is using AI to analyse and summarise medical documents that are submitted alongside applications to check a candidate is suitable to join up. It is a bit to speed up an often drawn-out process the AI has learned. Documents are scanned or uploaded by a GP onto a secure system. The AI technology then converts the information into searchable records, allowing emails, electronic documents, voice messages, and handwritten notes to be put into one format and analysed by recruiters. So this is a source from the UK government / World Bank here. Military expenditures as percentage of GDP, how much has been spent on the military. Obviously from the 1960s and down, we can see obviously the graph on the left there that military expenditure has gone down. Obviously, it's understandable that it has gone down. And then you can see it went back up around 2007 there. We all know why, the Iraq War. And then after that, 2010, it went down even further. But then 2019, 2020, there's been a slight increase in investment there, and it's also got there on the side of how Britain's military has shrunk since the Falklands: 163,000 army, 92,000 RAF, and 73,000 in the navy. Total of 328,000. And UK forces personnel, we can see there obviously the numbers there, they have shrunk. Army 111,000, 35,000 in RAF, and Navy 37,000. This has changed since as percentage there down comes. When it comes to the size of the British military, direction of travel has been sharply downwards. Yeah, and that's the thing. While many people might not see it as, oh, it's no big deal, like sort of thing, we still need to have a decent army force. I still think it matters to Britain. It's designed to improve effectiveness, data security, and scrutiny of applicants. Previously, 40,000 of these medical documents a year needed to be delivered by GPs and asserted by recruitment staff manually as part of a hiring process. A typical health record analysis by recruiters is between 50 to 100 pages long, as it takes an hour per applicant to be evaluated manually. And Capita source said the change, along with our modernisations, have reduced total application times by 25% since 2016. According to a defence source, the time span for processing medical assessments has been significantly reduced since the firm began using AI in summer last year, and the tech has been credited with more applicants being processed in recent months. Although the use of AI appears to have sparked progress in the army recruitment, concerns still exist about whether the use within government. The AI reveals last year that civil servants have been instructed not to use ChatGPT for any government-related work over security fears. Okay. However, insiders insist the new army recruitment system actually increases data security as well as speeding up the process. The Defence Secretary Graham Sharp said earlier this month that the number of applicants to join the army reached a 6-year high in January, but that the UK was still struggling to replace soldiers at the speed that they were leaving the forces. Mr Sharp had previously denied that the number of recruits are cause for concern, although Capita has acknowledged that it has historically underperformed while managing the recruitment for the armed forces. In 2019, the Commons Defence Select Committee labelled the performance of the Army Forces and Capita when it comes to hiring as abysmal, urging the firms to drive down recruitment times and use more straightforward processes. A recruitment source says we've managed to create a streamlined system for renewed data using artificial intelligence and automation. It accelerates the managing of around 40,000 documents a year. This not only improves the candidate's experience, but also improves data security within the medical process. And even very lengthy medical documents can now be scanned or uploaded directly by the candidate's GP and delivered securely to the defence recruiting system. Admiral Lord West, former head of the Royal Navy, who has repeatedly warned that the UK urgently needs to bolster its defence spending, told the I believe in using technology as much as it makes things better. If it makes medical procedures better, then I'm delighted. However, Capita had previously had issues where they have looked at medical records of someone who has asthma for 3 months as a 6-year-old and discounted them because of it, when they are absolutely fit to serve. If this technology can improve medical analysis and if it speeds it up and all forward, but it must deal with the issues in recruitment. Richard Chi, a security consultant who has served both in the Parachute Regiment and the Close Protection Unit Royal Military Police, said AI could be a valuable tool, but warned against contractors using it as a shield if things go wrong, and stressed it must be done to speed up recruitment. I've had 2 sons join the forces, and for each of them, the recruitment process was very long-winded, he told the Mr. Egg added that he had taken between 6 to 8 months for each of them, which he believes was ridiculous. Yeah, this is too long. This is too long. 6 to 8 months. There needs to be a faster way of doing this. This is just not feasible. The thing is with the process is the attention span of applicants isn't where it used to be decades ago. You have a generation of where you want things yesterday for a minimum of effort, he said. If the process is taking 6 to 8 months, people will find other options to pursue. Mr. Egg said the armed forces absolutely remains in a tricky and potentially vulnerable spot, given the current personnel and recruitment numbers and threats from the likes of Russia. They need to focus their efforts more, I say, on the actual retention of soldiers, he said. The situation is untenable for the current level of manpower and capability of the UK defence. The number of active service personnel has dropped by 60% since the Falklands War, with only 134,000 fully trained staff across the Army, the Navy and British Air Force. General Sir Patrick Sanders, the outgoing head of the British Army, recently warned at a conference that the UK reserve forces would be insufficient should Britain need to go on a war footing. Meanwhile, Carlos de Tolos, the US Navy Secretary, recently told an event in London that further investment in the Royal Navy was significantly important. Mr. Sharps has warned that the UK is moving from going from a post-war to a pre-war world, ordering renewing the armed forces last week amid concerns that security was being compromised to secure more recruits. The review was launched following a press report that security clearance requirements that could be lowered for foreign fighters in order to boost application numbers. A Capita spokesperson said, face-to-face contact and engagement with serving personnel will always be at the heart of head recruitment, but these are parts of the process which have become quicker, simpler and more effective through the use of artificial intelligence technology. We are deploying these tools to streamline recruitment to get people into basic training faster to help prevent candidates from dropping out. The Ministry of Defence was approached for comment, and as of the time of the recording, there has been no response. So first and foremost, like I've said, I don't have a problem with the use of artificial intelligence in the comes to army recruitment, especially if it speeds it up. 6 to 8 months is stupid. It's a stupid amount of time. I think I've said this in the other video when I talked about it, guys. There needs to be sped up. You need to give, and there needs to be more needs to be done when it comes to incentivizing and retention and keeping people in the armed forces. I said this is really very important. Obviously, there's been I've had some people respond to my comments, and who some say are in favour and some are not so sure when it comes to whether or not we should have immigrants or asylum seekers who come to our country, whether or not they should have to go into the army, perhaps even go into a conscription for 2 years or something of some sorts. I'm not so sure if that's right or if that's fair on them, especially if they have medical conditions, then obviously they can't do it. But if they're perfectly fit and healthy, might be something worth considering. It could definitely help shore up the numbers. But again, you're taking away that person's will is the counteract for it. But I certainly think it should be an option put at front of these. Maybe it's something that should be put in front of these people, saying that if you want to, perhaps maybe in terms of from an immigration perspective, because this is what I'm thinking, guys. How would you feel if we told people who wanted to come into this country that, oh, sure, you can have your application process, but you have to spend at least 2 to 5 years or something working for the British Army or the RAF or the Navy or something, one of those two. You have to qualify to recruit and be part of it for at least 5 years minimum, something like that. I would say the average man or woman who is capable of doing it, maybe something like that would speed up their process. Rather than force people to join, give them an incentive to join. They say, okay, you want something different. Here's an opportunity. Join the army. Will definitely help the numbers. Why not? Why not put that incentive there for those who? What do you guys honestly think about that idea as well? That's an idea, maybe. It will definitely help with the numbers, and especially when we don't have enough of our own people wanting to join the army, because that is becoming a problem as well, which we discussed as well. So let me know what you guys honestly think about those ideas in the comment section down below. What do you think about that? What do you think of the use of artificial intelligence being used to help speed up recruitment? Do you have an issue with that? I personally don't. I think if it helps speed up the recruitment, why not? What do you guys think about perhaps migrants or asylum seekers, those who haven't been processed here in the UK? Perhaps maybe giving them an incentive to say, well, you can be part of the UK if you can bypass it all if you join the army for 2 to 5 years or something like that. We give you an incentive to it, not force them, but put that in front of them, saying, if you join, you get these benefits and whatnot. What do you guys honestly think about that idea? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, be greatly appreciated. Share across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or joining me on Patreon for exclusive content. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.